entitled The Sybil, and it's dedicated to Rachel Carson. It's part of a large series of works I've been working on called Wisdom Cloaks. And the wisdom cloaks are about the enduring wisdom of women and women as they grow older. And when I saw the call for primal forces, I thought about this theme that I wanted to work on and had wanted to dedicate a work to Rachel Carson, and it seemed like a perfect fit. So I actually made this piece particularly for this exhibit. The reason I chose Rachel Carson is that she, in 1962, wrote a book that sort of started the environmental movement, or helped start the environmental movement, about the indiscriminate use of pesticides in the environment. And part of the reason it was interesting to me is that Rachel Carson was a serious scientist, but she was also able to write and communicate to a much broader audience. And I kind of put that in parallel to some of the things that we've been talking about and thinking about now, about the interface between science and regular people that aren't trained as scientists, and this idea of being able to connect scientific ideas so that people can understand them and maybe feel a sense of urgency. And Silent Spring certainly did that. You know, it's kind of interesting because I do not use the natural world as the source of my ideas for the most part. I'm interested in the lives of women. And so again, this idea of connecting concern and a sense of urgency for the environment to a woman that really spoke out. She was a Sybil, a prophetess, and saying, this is what could happen if we don't step back and look at the downstream consequences of some of the things that we're doing. And so I thought that was, not only was the environmental movement a primal force, but Rachel Carson was a primal force, and that she was a voice that was able to reach people and kind of motivate people and get them started thinking about some of the issues that are so important to preserving the environment and eventually the earth. I've been working with the shield form for this series, kind of a triangular format, which kind of suggested a cloak or a protective garment. And that kind of drove all of the pieces in this series, this idea of protection, the idea of some innate wisdom that women have that is often unsung or unrecognized. And the cloak forms sort of amplify this idea of surrounding ourselves in protection and wisdom. And that's been on my mind, obviously, through the pandemic. But the cloak series started before we were in lockdown. I was thinking about protection and women then. And most of my work is, although very abstract, has a narrative quality. I want to tell a story. And so some of the pieces in my Wisdom Cloak series are about particular women, like the Sybil, and some are about women in general. And so that's been kind of an ongoing stream of idea that I've had over the last number of years. I think that I made the Rachel Carson piece because I felt strongly that we recognize the wisdom of women. And in our textile world, 99% of the artists, in my experience, have been women. And that's a special interest of mine. And I don't think I can get away from the feminist undertone of almost all my work. I'm interested in women. I'm interested in women's issues. And I'm interested in the story of a scientist who was a prophetess. She shone a light on a very dangerous situation and made a change, a big one. And that to me was a very inspiring story that many people don't know. And I'm telling it.